Hey everyone, welcome to yet another quarantine edition of the Adam and Chris Show. I'm St. Adam.
I'm Chris Malice.
And Chris, we all know what happened on January 6th.
Yes.
It was a frightening and pathetic display all at once.
Yes.
And the hits just keep coming with the riots and insurrection down at the Capitol building. Among everything else, the founder of one of my favorite bands, Jon Schaffer of Iced Earth, was one of those people. Can we get a picture to show everyone the picture of Jon Schaffer down there? It's undeniably him. There it is. It breaks my heart. I knew Jon Schaffer was conservative. I just thought he's conservative. He has a hard on for George Washington in 1776.
Well, apparently it was obvious he had some sort of hard on for that because he was down there.
Well, right, but with an Oath Keepers hat on, which they said he's not even a member of the Oath Keepers. At least that's what they're telling us. I have no idea.
The Oath Keepers sat there and threw him under the bus. Wow.
Right. But you see, okay, so he's conservative. I'm not, but he writes good music, and if you ever listen to Iced Earth albums, with the exception of maybe one, they're just about dark fantasy.
Yeah.
Ancient gods. I mean, they did an album about Spawn.
That's a good album.
Great stuff. I've been a fan of theirs for over 20 years.
I quit listening to them after a horror show.
Well, you did. I kept going, but Matt Barlow, I think, did some of his best work on those albums vocally. And when he left, Tim Owens came in, and then Barlow came back. It was a whole thing. But I enjoyed those albums. So it breaks my heart to know that, this band that I love was founded by a guy that is now a domestic terrorist. Well, Schaffer turned himself in. I mean, not right away. He was missing for about a week, and then he turned himself into the cops in Indiana, where he's from, and he got extradited to D.C. He's facing charges now. He's facing 6 criminal charges. Let me read them to you. And Chris, you can explain to everyone what these mean. I mean, you could do it better than I because you were paralegal or you went to school for it. Charge number 1, knowingly entering or remaining in any restricted building or grounds without lawful authority.
I mean, that speaks for itself. It's he was. Some of these just speak for himself. I mean, they're worded in the manner where he was someplace he shouldn't be when he shouldn't be.
Okay. Charge number 2, disrupting the orderly conduct of government business.
Yeah, he was doing that.
Charge 3, knowingly engages in an act of physical violence against any person or property in any restricted building or grounds.
Again, that speaks for itself. He was probably on a little bit of a tear, breaking something or someone.
Well, going back to the picture that we saw. Charge number 4, violent entry and disorderly conduct in a Capitol building.
That's probably the one that they're going to try to get him to plea down for, if they try to get him to work a plea.
Charge number 5, engage in an act of physical violence in a Capitol building, which they said that he was one of the people that sprayed the police officers with bear mace.
Ooh, yeah. So that's a big thing. That's a bigger thing. That's probably what they'll probably do is say, yeah, you can't do that. The thing is, the Capitol has a different set of rules than a normal institution, and that's what people got to understand. A lot of these false equivalencies get thrown out there on social media, and they're stupid. They don't put certain things into consideration. Why could I march on Starbucks but not the Capitol building? Well, here's the thing. This is where your government works for you to do your business, and government institutions are constantly threatened by wackos all the time. So they have to be protected. a lot, and this is the reason why I kind of restrain from being on social media, and I feel so much better for it. And I suggest a lot of people do that. It's because a lot of these bullshit false equivalencies get thrown out there that there's just certain things that aren't ever put in consideration. I was watching Jim Jordan's dumbass talk about why a gym can't be during this quarantine. Why can't we have a bunch of people in a gym, but we can have all these protesters? The Constitution specifically says you cannot limit free speech, which that would be doing the protesters limiting their free speech. And a gym, the government can say you can only have 8 people in here and all that type of stuff. You want to get into the concept of the houses of worship or whatever that, I think there's a little bit more of an argument, but Jim Jordan's a fucking congressman. He should fucking know better. I'm fucking sorry.
What was Jim Jordan before being a congressman?
Yeah, a fucking football coach that ignored sexual assault claims. Yeah, fucking way to go, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Making Portman and Sherrod Brown look fucking genius.
Well, charge number 6: parade, demonstrate, or picket in a Capitol building.
Well, you should be allowed to protest. I think it's actually being in the Capitol building, because it could mean that you're trying to intimidate elected officials from doing stuff. If you ever go vote, you're not allowed to sit there by the voting machine in real close to the voting areas and politic.
Mm-hmm.
Because it could be seen as you could be like trying to intimidate people to vote your way. Again, these caveats are put there for certain reasons, but social media and whataboutism, which is stupid. It's just stupid. I think that type of shit is fucking dumb. Has now derated the reason why.
Well, if he's found guilty on all 6 charges, do you have a guess what the punishment would be?
Oh, he's going to be doing jail time. He's going to be going to jail.
How much jail time do you think?
I don't know. I think the word there, he's not going to get the complete book thrown at him. He's not going to be getting 25 years in prison. I can assure you that, because he doesn't have a criminal record. They'll probably have him plea some of these down, maybe do 5 years. But I don't know. They could be want to make an example, and he's probably one of the more famous people that were down there next to Hornboy. So they could be like, okay, cool. So many people in Congress were fucking terrified that day.
Right.
I mean, AOC and Ted Cruz, not Ted Cruz, but Kelly Loeffler was originally going to go protest the results of the election in the Electoral College. And then that day happened. She changed immediately. Like, fuck no. Fuck no. And if I were her, I'd just not want to be in politics anymore. After that day, I just wouldn't want to have to deal with that type of shit. Mitch McConnell fucking threw Trump under the bus after this is all said and
Mitch
done.
McConnell retreated back into his shell, because that's what he does when he's threatened.
I tell you what, man, Pence, after all this, is he looks good. People were chanting "Hang Mike Pence" and all that type of shit. This is a guy that, I don't know if I don't believe Schaffer was saying to hang Mike Pence, but this is a guy that was a hero to you guys because he couldn't do something that he's not supposed to do and he can't fucking do. You guys started fucking threatening to kill him.
So given that
bullshit savior in there.
So I read some quotes that Jon Schaffer gave regarding current situations before this all happened. So he thought COVID was a hoax that was made to control people. He thought the election was stolen, that dead people voted. And like I tell people, the only 2 dead people that voted, number one, there's that guy in Kentucky whose mom passed away, but her mail-in ballot arrived at the house and he filled it out, put her name on it, voted for Trump and sent it in. The only other dead or undead person I can think of is Rudy Giuliani. And we know he's undead because he melted in daylight.
Yeah. Well, the thing, Schaffer, here's where this is the problem. So many people have been read into a lot of these bullshit theories from dipshit YouTubers and people that actually don't give a fuck about their name looking good. And and being, right up, taking the moral high ground. So some of these people have been led by these dishonest assholes that want to make money just running their fucking mouths online and not, being honest with their audience. And they believe that something could have happened, that they could have overturned an election and all that type of stuff. I'm just really glad it didn't turn into a coup in the way in like African countries where, I mean, these people carry firearms, It was pretty bad. I mean, that they didn't storm and kill a bunch of people. When you get a group of people that troll on the internet and you say, hey, let's rally and take something over, they probably will and potentially just go and do dumb shit like sit in Nancy Pelosi's chair. It had the potential to be way, way worse, but this should never have even fucking happened. It shouldn't have. Trump, and a big part of it is Trump doesn't know how to accept an L. And he can, before all this shit, if he would have just accepted the L and said, I'm going to run again in 2024, he would have had better chances. This shit wouldn't have got so fucking ugly. He could legitimately run again in 2024, but no, he didn't. He wanted to have his cake and fuck it too. But I want everyone to think about this, especially the people that support Trump but hate Nancy Pelosi. If you're going to hang Mike Pence, and if you look at Donald Trump, like or hate him, that guy's yells all the time and has a terrible diet, and he's in his 70s.
So he's a lot like these people that were protesting this.
Well, no, here's my point. That guy, if Donald Trump had a heart attack tomorrow, I'm not saying I'm for it. Just given his track record of health issues, his terrible diet, the fact that the guy yells 95% of the time, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay.
Given what you just said, that, with his diet, I know it's a little off topic, but it could happen. There's that old saying, time to pay the piper, or in Trump's case, the Hamburglar.
Well, I mean, who becomes president if you get Mike Pence, you hang him, and Trump has a heart attack the next day?
Nancy Pelosi.
So let's think about this. Was this really a good fucking idea? I'm pretty left-leaning, and I do not like Nancy Pelosi. So already, this is a bad idea. So,
I don't think there's a lot of thought put into this, but as far as Jon Schaffer goes, I find myself in a position, again, I listened to Iced Earth for over 20 years. I can't find myself supporting a terrorist. And he's a founding member. It's not like they can kick him out of the band.
Yeah.
Although, if they do, if he works out some kind of deal with these other guys and says, hey, I fucked you guys, I will step out, you can have the name Iced Earth, I still know how Schaffer can kind of keep that connection. With his ideology, he can start writing this stuff that he believes. We'll call the band Flat Earth.
Well, here's the thing. He probably has the rights to the name Iced Earth or the records.
Oh, he has the rights to everything. You cannot have this band without Jon Schaffer.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm done listening to a band that I loved for 20 years. Here's
my thing. So let me tell you guys where I stand on this thing. I gave up on Iced Earth around Horror Show. I just didn't think that are exciting. I like Matt Barlow as a vocalist better. I think Ripper did okay, but the music they made never really fucking moved me. I just am like, I've heard all this shit before, now it's just pretending to be more patriotic than it normally is. A while ago, Century Media, I guess, took Iced Earth off their artist list.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we should be doing that shit either. If you want to get, it's a slippery slope, especially with musicians. If we start sitting there saying, hey, let's get rid of all the bad guy musicians, there ain't going to be any musicians playing music. And this is coming from somebody that's played it for 20 years. Well, musicians are fucked up individuals.
I think it just goes to the fans of, what are you willing to do?
Well, make the choice yourself.
A very similar situation that's still worlds apart, but similar is, and this, you did not like this band, but I will say I did, As I Lay Dying. And then the front man goes and tries to hire a hitman to kill his wife, and the hitman turns out to be an undercover cop. I don't listen to As I Lay Dying anymore.
Well,
These
you
guys,
made that choice.
no. These guys cannot come out and say, "Sorry, I made a bit of a mistake."
Yeah, but
you can say that. You can say that on like a cocaine binge,
yeah,
or
yeah.
you had to go to
Yeah,
rehab, so
agree.
your tour got canceled. But you cannot say that, like in his case, I messed up. Yeah, and if it succeeded, your wife would be dead. Jon Schaffer, I messed up, and if you succeeded, you'd have overthrown the government. You'd have damaged the very fabric of our democracy, what you claim you hold so near and dear to you.
I agree. Here's my thing. You made that choice. So with Century Media, this is the problem with censorship, is the choice is being made for everyone else. You made the choice to quit supporting Iced Earth. You made the choice to quit supporting As I Lay Dying. I quit supporting Iced Earth because I think their music sucked after Horror Show, and I never supported As like crying because listen to their name. But that's the choice you made. And without record, like you look at Michael Graves, nobody's buried him. Venues aren't going to book him. That's their choice. Audience members aren't paying to see them. That's their choice. I think someone else coming in and demanding, hey, we need to take Michael Graves off the internet because he's an asshole. Same with Jon Schaffer. The record label doesn't need to ignore that he ever fucking existed, and like try to delete his catalog or whatnot. Leave it up there. If some people buy it, some people buy it. Most people won't. This whole metal leave to the right thing has not worked for anyone but Five Finger Death Punch. And the reason it works for Five Finger Death Punch is they touch the right wing shit. They don't fucking full on draw up in and embrace it like crazy, like some of these other bands that tried to do this shit and fucking failed miserably have. So,
yeah, I mean, I can actually picture if all these guys got together for one tour. Can you picture it? Here's how the advertisement would go. Hey, everyone. Are you tired of living in a rational world where people don't believe in lizard people that have no problem being racist and trying to overthrow the government? Well, you're in luck because here comes the Insurrection Dumbfuck Tour. Oh, we got acts like Kid Rock, Michael Graves, Trapped, and now Jon Schaffer's Flat Earth.
Well, the saddest thing is there's only two bands with Ted. And Ted Nugent wasn't even there. I'm actually disappointed. We didn't hear that Ted was there. Ted Nugent had enough common sense to go, nope, not doing that. Nope, that's him.
This is a guy that married an underage girl just so he could have sex with her.
Him and Kid Rock sat that one out. They're like, no, we're just gonna sit on the fence for that. You guys go and you do you. That's how bad they knew it was an idea. No, but this trying to pivot this shit to the right's just been fucking. It's rock and roll is naturally not a conservative art form, so I think some of the musicians that dabbled in this bullshit are just trying to fucking find some sort of. I think Jon Schaffer believed the shit he said. I think maybe Michael Graves does, but I think some of the other ones.
He said he's, an actual Proud Boy.
Oh well, how's that working for getting asses in seats? I'm pretty sure the weirdos that listen to shit like the Misfits don't want to fucking go pay to see someone that would probably beat their eyeliner wearing ass up.
Well, I mean, you got Glenn Danzig, you got Michael Graves, and Danzig is selling out venues he plays in. Graves is not.
Yeah. And it's a shame because Graves has got a great voice.
Graves has a great voice. Dig Up Her Bones is a great song, but at the end of the day, you can't, especially for punk, you can't be like that hardcore conservative and fall in line with the punk rock ideologies.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. Typically.
And as far as like metal goes and Jon Schaffer, you can have your conservative ideas, but the minute that you engage in trying to overthrow democracy, you have now become the villain.
Yeah.
So to Jon Schaffer and, to Iced Earth, the other guys, that weren't there and everything, sorry, not doing it anymore. I want to say thank you for the memories. But, and to quote Jon Schaffer from the song The Reckoning, you went too far this time with your heinous crime. This is where I'm tapping out. Or, in other words,
he went so too far with that fucking song.
That's one of the better songs on that album. Or, Chris, we could quote Jim Cornette when it comes to Jon Schaffer. Thank you, fuck you, bye.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, this one went on a little longer than we thought, but what do you think about this situation? What do you think? Were you an Ice Earth fan before this? Did it affect the way you are going to continue on trying to be a fan or anything? Let us know in the comment section below. Chris, you got any final thoughts?
I mean, look, when the Nuge says isn't jumping to do it, that should be your fucking your red flag right there.
All right. Well, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, spread it around. Let's build a dialogue about this. Subscribe to the channel if you like this and content like this. Chris is really wanting everyone to hit that subscribe button because it means he doesn't have to keep doing his OnlyFans page. Yeah. It's gotten weird over there.
Yeah, too much OJ.
Yeah, too much. Jello lovers of America are tapping out to this. But be sure to follow us on the rest of our social media. We're talking Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And from the Adam and Chris Show, I'm St. Adam.
I'm Chris Malice.
And goodbye to Iced Earth.